welcome back to the Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa, an epic night of rematches. It's CFFC 50, it's Paul Felder with Brian Palico, and it's time, folks, for the main event of the evening, and it's time to take a look of our challenger, Tim Williams.
When I hear the music start playing, you know, corner, all right, let's go, get ready. It's awesome, there's nothing like it. A lot of times it's like a haze, you know, it's like you're in a haze, but the more fights I have, the more I control everything and the more I'm thinking about the actual fight itself. So, you know, it's just game time. I know it's game time and I know I'm coming out and I gotta perform and I gotta get rid of this guy. You know, I hear everybody screaming, you know, it's awesome. Since I've been 19, I've been training, I've been preparing for that moment. Every training session, every pad work session, everything, just, it's all learning and getting ready for that point. I gotta impose my will and I gotta come out of there with that W. I gotta hurt this guy. So.
All right, folks, here we are. Tim Williams making his way into the cage. You see his coaches there. He had a really big training camp for him. Paul, when I spoke to Tim at length about this, he said, Brian, I think Anthony Smith had me confused with somebody else.
You know, I like Tim Williams, man. He's no joke. He comes in here, he gets the job done. He's one of the more intimidating guys to face across the cage, and he's taking this seriously. He wants that belt. He's wanted it ever since he started fighting for Cage Fury. He likes grimy, gritty fights, and he's going to look to make it ugly.
There's nobody that works harder. On the Tough Show, you know, he's been all over the place, but actually maybe a guy who they said maybe overworking and not getting enough rest and recovery. You know, training does happen at times, but Tim Williams, he's never been more focused. He's never been more dedicated. He's a guy that's always out there working hard. He told me that he worked extremely hard with Crew Eric on his stand-up, which he just passed us, and Coach Marco Perosa on a game plan. He trains a lot of places. He's ready to go. He's in the cage coming out of the blue corner. Tim Williams, he's looking to get that belt back tonight at the Borgata. Now, folks, we're going to take a look at the current champ, the man who has the belt, Anthony Smith.
I'm finally in a place that I feel like I belong. I walk around the world, day-to-day life, feeling like I don't belong anywhere. I can be an animal and it's okay. You know, that's when the lion mark comes out. I can just go in there and tear people to shreds and do whatever I want, and it's okay. Like, I enjoy hurting people. And the only place that I can do that and it's okay is in that cage. And that's when I come alive and I really feel like I am who I am.
And here he comes, your champ, the current belt holder, and he did it in incredible fashion last time around. Paul Felder, Anthony Smith, he comes in a hated man into Tim Williams' backyard because he spoke some pretty deep words in his opinion on Tim Williams and how he just said he's not even at my level.
Yeah, you know, them's fighting words, Brian. Them's fighting words. He also said a lot about liking to hurt people and all this stuff. You know, we'll see, you know. Some strong words from Anthony Smith. Let's see if he can back it up. He did last time.
He really did a great job last time, as you see him making his way out to the cage with Bert Watson, who handles all of our stuff here at CFFC. You know, Anthony Smith really impressed me because he came into what was a hostile environment and he just got it done. He did an inverted triangle finish.
Yeah, which is hard to do.
They say Tim got caught, he made a mistake. You know, it does happen in the game, and he was doing very well until that point. But Smith's whole game was he was very relaxed. He was basically, during the fight, saying, you know, come on, Tim, come on, come in. So we'll have to see if he does that same play. And he's got a lot of fights. He's been all over the world, a lot of big organizations. Paul Felder, you pointed out, he's got a lot of finishes, too.
Yeah, he's a tough dude, man, and he's here to finish this fight and retain the belt and move on to the next step.
Well, as we get ready to move into our main event of the evening, Tim Williams looks to prove a very confident Anthony Smith wrong. He will be entering the cage in a minute, and let's take a look at our tale of the tape. Williams versus Smith, CFFC title fight here at the Borgata. Paul Felder, let's take a look at the tale of the tape. Anthony Smith versus Tim Williams.
Yeah, both these guys are tall for middleweight, but Anthony Smith at 6'4" with a 78-inch reach is quite the feat. He's also got a lot more fights than Tim Williams, but we're going to see who can impose their will with these two big boys inside the cage in our main event.
Folks, it's the main event of the evening. It's time. The title fight's on the line at the Borgata. We're going up to Dr. David Sarnoff for the announcement.
Tonight, the main event of the evening is scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds for the CFFC Middleweight Championship of the World. This bout has been brought to us by Cage Fury Fighting Championships and is sponsored by MHP, Maximum Human Performance, and the Brigada Hotel, Casino, and Spa right here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Now, standing to my left, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 185 pounds, fighting for 302 BJJ and Team Bounce, out of Millville, New Jersey, Timmy, the South Jersey Strangler, Williams. Now, standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 186 even pounds, fighting for Team Doyle out of Omaha, Nebraska, the current CFFC Middleweight Champion of the World, Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Both been given your instructions. Touch gloves now if you like. Let's fight.
Referee in charge of the action once the bell rings, Keith Peterson.
Okay, folks, Keith Peterson is going to be your ref in this main event rematch, Smith versus Williams. Folks, Tim Williams said to me, Anthony Smith has me confused with somebody else and nobody walks over me. Last time was a fluke, and I've been working on my hands harder than ever. Paul, you know the hands pretty well. What's he got to do to knock him out?
He's got to set up his punches and sit into them, you know, if he really wants to actually show that he's been working on them. You got to sit into them, man. You can't just throw them and step awkwardly and off balance. Tim's got to really twist into each shot. He's big enough to do it.
Tim Williams, a
big
local,
leg kick,
local favorite, packs the house with fans, really a superstar and an up-and-coming fighter. But Anthony Smith, you know, a guy who he loves being the spoiler.
Yeah, he doesn't mind being the heel.
He really does. He plays the part well. He's a focused fighter.
Oh,
he just
Tim
rocked
gets sat
him.
down. He's in
trouble.
trouble, Brian.
This could be trouble if he does not recover here. Anthony Smith has really rocked him hard. I think this could be the fight. As that knee connects, Tim's rocked. That's going to be the end of the fight. That's going to be the end of the fight. He's giving him every chance to recover. That's the end of the fight. Anthony Smith comes in and rocks. Tim Williams is busted up. I'm sure he's upset as well. Man, what can you say about Anthony Smith? Just comes in and destroys the scene. Very prepared. I mean, what can you say about Anthony Smith, Paul? I mean, he's on fire. Really, you know, he really is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you see the hostile environment, you know, people upset, but you know, what you got to do is you got to say, Anthony Smith, he comes in with reckless abandon. He did a really, really impressive job. We're going to take a look at the rematch here. Paul Felder, let's tell us through the punches.
He sat down on that right hand just like we talked about and followed it up with elbows, knees, everything. Big right hand as Timmy hit the ground, and he just followed it up relentlessly. Great job by Anthony Smith,
you
brutal.
Know, Tim Williams is a guy, he really is at that level. I've seen him do amazing things in fights, but it just seems at this time Anthony Smith might have his number, Paul.
Yeah, you know, he needs to go back to the gym and recover. And
take a look at that. Big knees, big punches, big elbows. The referee stops in, and Anthony Smith, he retains the belt, and he is still your middleweight Cage Fury Fighting Championships. We're going to go up to Dr. David Sarnoff for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout was stopped at 1 minute and 2 seconds in the first round. Winner by referee stoppage by way of TKO. And the winner in the red corner, and still the CFFC Middleweight Champion of the World, Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Anthony Smith. Anthony, great job, man. Wow, you know, you got the finish in the first time with Tim Williams with the triangle, and then you came out even stronger and harder and took the KO and just murdered him with some big punches, knees, elbows, relentless, man. What happened? Once you switch up with this, you came in here with a fire under you.
First off, before I say anything else, all the talk and all that other that Tim knows, that's just talk. That's just a game I have to play to get motivated. I respect Tim Williams more than you guys know, so I may talk and around, but I respect him. You know, I said it before. I fought really bad the first fight, and that I didn't get an opportunity to really show what I can do. This time, the cards fell my way, man. It's a crazy game. That easily could have been me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I respect that, man. Everybody mentally is different as a fighter and how they get in there. And, you know, you came in here at the end of the day and you did your job. And that was a spectacular finish, man. Congratulations. Anybody else you want in the division? What do you want next?
I just got to keep winning fights, man. I want to get back in the UFC. That's where I feel like I belong. So whoever it is, whatever they lie in front of me, man, I'm cool with it.
Well, I got to tell you, man, you're on the way, that's for sure, with that finish. Congratulations, Anthony Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Brian, back to you.
Okay, there he is, folks. There's your champ. Anthony Smith retains the belt in impressive fashion. Reckless abandon, punches and knees with bad intentions. He gets it done. Folks, this guy could be going to the UFC next. We'll have to see what's next for Tim Williams. He really hard for this one. I know he's a little frustrated. Let's take a look at the replay. You see that overhand right lands, and then another punch. Man, Williams just never had a chance to recover. He goes in for a single leg, and then you're going to see another big punch in the short elbow. Anthony Smith goes in with the elbow there, and then there was a knee that was the exclamation point. Your referee looks in. He knows Tim's in trouble. There's the knee that rocked him, and that was the end of the fight. Quick night and easy work for Anthony Smith. There's another look right there, overhand right. Man, Anthony Smith on point. A lot of punches and bunches tonight, and there was the elbow. Doesn't get any cleaner than that. For Paul Felder and our entire crew, I'm Brian Palico. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.